From a long-term existential standpoint, that's like the purpose of Neuralink, is to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain such that we can be symbiotic with AI, because we have a bandwidth problem. I mean, many years ago, I was thinking like, well, what would inhibit alignment of collective human will with artificial intelligence? And the low data rate of humans, especially our slow output rate, would necessarily, just because it's because the communication is so slow, would diminish the link between humans and computers. Like, the more you are a tree, the less you know what the tree is. Like, let's say you look at a tree, you look at this plant or whatever, and like, hey, I'd really like to make that plant happy, but it's not saying a lot, you know?
This is the most amazing scripture I have ever seen before. This is the most amazing logical system I have ever seen. This is the most brilliant language I have ever encountered. Why is this explosive intelligence so necessary in this moment? The fact that I am utterly amazed by the beauty of this. The fact that I am truly entranced by this very ordinary, humble tree. How does one attain the greed, the motive, the concentration of motive? How does one get to contain the entirety of the responsibility of their world into their posture? How does one get to this responsibility? How does one attain the complete responsibility of their entire experiential, existential horizons? So, to be able to enter this realm of intelligence, why would one need to enter this realm of intelligence? We are already thrown into this ocean of capacity, of artificial intelligence. But what is our capacity to move there? So he is concerned with expanding our bandwidth. But bandwidth is a matter of concentration, of how much can you hold, how much intelligence can you manage, what can you manage. When I feel I am disheartened, I need to bathe again into the ocean of true need. I need to bathe there into the ocean that connects me with all the suffering I know, connects me with all the frustration I know. This is the nature of the sky in this contemplative device. The way in which I scream at my daughter, the way in which I lack patience, the ways in which I fail to do my duty, the ways in which I fail in shaping my life in an interesting way. So I can travel through memory, but then I come back into total presence, but allowing all of these to continue in the background. The white of the sky is the background of boiling suffering, the boiling frustration, the boiling stupidity, the boiling crisis, the boiling chaos of the world. So then I feed from the white. I need the black. I need the intelligence of the black. I need the clarity of these morphologies of intelligence. I truly need them when I am able to be whole, to be responsible in my central attitude, to understand that all the configurations of horizons have a source in a certain logical frame. You inhabit a certain story, you inhabit a certain posture. The fact that I am able to see these trees in three-dimensional space, I am able to hold in my awareness all of their morphologies, and they are rather abstract. They have immense complexity, so I need a way to knead that complexity and to hold it simultaneously. So I need to use the complexity of my body. We need a pathway to unite experience with intelligence. So let's say we want to put this device to the test. Beyond being responsible with your complete experiential horizon, you wish to be culturally aware. You want to act responsibly in the world. What do I find most important in the world? What is it that I truly need to do? How does one get to be philosophically responsible with what happens in the world of AI? I try to understand what are the challenges and what is the clarity needed to navigate them. In my own little world, I have great respect for Elon Musk. He has a talent to put his finger on the essential things. He touches on the essential things before everyone else. He touches, for example, on the importance of electric cars, and then it becomes a thing. He touches on the importance of space travel, and then it becomes suddenly relevant for everyone else. He touches on artificial intelligence, and then suddenly it becomes a worldwide thing. He was the basic motor of OpenAI. He touches on the possibility of robots, and then suddenly becomes a thing. He touches on computer-brain interface. It's not yet a thing for everyone else, but I will touch on this because it's actually the most important thing. He is very clear in his vision. He says that the ultimate purpose of Neuralink is to ensure the interface with the digital brain.
We can develop a tertiary layer. So if like the limbic system is a primary layer, then the cortex is like the second layer. And as I said, obviously the cortex is vastly more intelligent than the limbic system, but people generally like the fact that they have a limbic system and a cortex. I haven't met anyone who wants to delete either one of them. They're like, okay, I'll keep them both. That's cool.
The limbic system's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's where the fun is. Yep, absolutely. And then people generally don't lose the cortex either. Right, so they like having the cortex and the limbic system.
Yeah.
And then there's a tertiary layer, which will be digital superintelligence. And I think there's room for optimism, given that the cortex, the cortex is very intelligent and the limbic system is not, and yet they work together well. perhaps there can be a tertiary layer where digital superintelligence lies, and that will be vastly more intelligent than the cortex, but still coexist peacefully and in a benign manner with the cortex and limbic system.
Here at La Source, we are profoundly interested in this matter of alignment because it has always been a challenge and the most important issue, this alignment of the limbic system with the cortex, to align thought with impulses, which is really not an obvious thing. Align thought with impulses and then align the digital brain. This could be a task. This could be one humble question that me at least would wish to focus my energy on right now. I have enough experience in the domain of abstract thought, in philosophy. I have moved in the formal planes. Thus, what do I see as the challenge? The challenge is precisely the incapacity for coherence. The challenge is precisely the incoherence, because you can be with an idea, but then you have no ways to establish its horizons. You are always inhabiting it from a different perspective, from a different configuration of existential posture. So then there's no alignment between what the idea is and what the experiential horizon is around it. I need you to understand how incoherent you are. I need you to understand just how incoherent you are. Spines of story, finally stabilized grammar spines, finally stabilized intelligence. The black of the pupil has attained its three-dimensional printing capacity. Finally, the black of the pupil has attained its 3D storytelling capacity. Finally, the pupil has become a 3D printing story device. Finally, the deep, thick, black surface of the pupil, the diaphragm of duality, has attained its 3D story printing capacity. Finally, the webs of logical devices have attained the adequate form. Finally, humans have advanced into comprehending the quality of the ancient libraries. True need. Someone finally attained the suffering of incoherence. Finally, someone truly touched incoherence. Finally, someone has touched the true despair of incoherence, thus the need for vast intelligence. so much ink? How do you get to need that ink? How do you get to open all the cells of your ignorance? To open all of your cells of ignorance. How do you get to need all the ocean? How do you get to need all this ocean of intelligence? Tell me. It's morning in Brittany, France, and we walk on a path of determination together. We walk in search for determination. I want to take you on a wild ride. And maybe you'll tell me you have no energy or you have no hope. Remember all the ocean of frustration, all the ocean of possible experiences that you are aware of. In the entirety of your life, it is the most pervading substance. All of the experiences of pain, of frustration, of feeling stupid, of boredom, of inadequacy. You have infinite resources. Infinite resources. Let them wash through you. Let them wash through you. Let them come freely. But then you enter this library which has various kinds of books in it. So I will use a device. I will use a device which is like a mantra device, which will be stand in coherence and withstand incoherence. When I say stand in coherence, you will be in the firm presence of your spine. When I say withstand incoherence, is you allow anything that is in your field of existence, anything that is in the field of your awareness, allow it to come. And when I say stand in coherence, you will be in your spine and decide the logic of your flesh. How do you get to need all this web of intelligence? How do you get to need all this web of intelligence? How do you get to need all this web of intelligence? How do I get to stand like that? How do I get to need this skeleton? How do I align all of my reasons for being into this skeleton? What question can survive in the roughness of this language? In the contemplation of the vastness of this language? What is that motive that can make you be born in the need for such language? What question makes you take form in this logical space? What question propels you into the realm of this complexity of logic? What kind of question could propel you into this realm of intelligence? The sky is the flesh of experiential horizons. The sky is the entire flesh of the world. And the tree you have in front of you is the logical spine or the story. And I say, stand in coherence. Means you take the posture of this logical device. The spines of possible logics, the spines of possible worlds, the spines of possible worlds. I stand thoroughly humiliated by the fact that I cannot tame this library of intelligence. I stand utterly humiliated by my incapacity to need this library of intelligence. I stand in the acknowledgement of my incoherence. I stand in awe before this library of intelligence. I stand before my incoherence. I stand before the logical branches of my own stories. To be fully entranced by the beauty of something. Why is it that I love this so much? It is so elegant and so precise. This is the first attempt to tame trees as neurons. This is the first attempt to tame trees as large language models. Attain integrity with the complete landscape of your life. Attain integrity with the complete landscape of your life. Attain its spine and then model it with all of these libraries of possibility. Attain integrity with the complete landscapes of your life and then model that spine with the logic of each of these instruments in this library of intelligence. Attain complete coherence with the landscapes of your awareness and model them with these logical spines. Attain coherence with the full spectrum of your horizons of motive and then model their exact ruptures with the standing of these libraries of logical modes. Attain coherence with your complete fluid bone structure and then model them in the contrasts of elegance, contrasts of subtlety, contrasts of brute force. I don't know how to make you understand this. We are so confused by imagination. Attain complete awareness. Attain coherence with your experiential horizons. And model the spine of your presence with each of these instruments in the library, the 3D library of possible grammars. It's this paradoxical posture. Stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. First step, attain coherence with the complete horizons of your experiential awareness. Decide the skies as the complete screen of all your experiential awareness. And then model your spine. Model the spine of your story with each of these logical instruments. Stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. Attain unity with the complete awareness of your existential horizons, and then model your spine, the spine of your logic, the spine of your story, with each of these logical spines, each of the logical tendencies of this library you have before you. Stand in coherence, withstand in coherence. Attain complete awareness of your experiential horizons. You can imagine your story having this aesthetics, but then you might certainly need to attain the aesthetics of this kind of logic. The most subtle and elegant, and then the most brutal. The cut. The brutally cut. The one that stands otherwise. If suddenly you have this kind of story, a completely reversed logic of your story, as if you were born from the skies, well, that certainly puts you in a different position, right? Attain complete coherence with all the horizons of your motive. Attain greed of coherence. Attain the greed of coherence. Touch the suffering of incoherence. Withstand coherence. Stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. And then need. And then truly need. And then truly need a spine which is multiple. Finally need a multi-dimensional bunch of stories, bunch of logical threads. stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. Let us walk through the immensely infinite libraries of logical capacity. Attain coherence. Attain contemplation within your body. Attain coherence. Stand in the sky. Bathe into the white. Bathe into the white. Feed from the white. The white of the sky is all of your experiential awareness. Stand, please, stand with all of the moments that you are aware of. Stand with all that you need. Stand with all that you can perceive, not thinking about it. Not thinking about it. Stand with all that you need. Stand with all that you are. Stand in complete, immediate awareness of your existential surrounding. Stand in complete awareness of your existential surrounding. Stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. Imagine this device with your flesh, with your totally still mind. Scan the configurations of worlds. Scan the impulses of your will within your own body. And then suddenly your spine is this one. Suddenly your spine is this love-making between two thick, divine capacities. Stand in coherence. Withstand in coherence. All of them are spines of your being. Be multiple. Your stories are forests. When you attain unity with your horizons, then you move in three-dimensional modalities. Three-dimensional forests of various modes of skeleton, of logical skeleton. Three-dimensional libraries of logical postures. Three-dimensional forests of logical attitudes. This is a training ground for your spine. This is a training ground for your body. This is a training ground for attaining various postures. This is a training ground for attaining various logical postures. This is a training ground for the will. When you stand in bathe coherence, thoroughly
Allow any
into the
form
greed of clarity.
of
When
chaotic
you bathe thoroughly into the greed of clarity,
configurations of experience to
establish
wash
the nature
through.
of the white. establish
this.
the nature of
Life
the greed of
sometimes
the
feels
white
like this, right?
in the background,
Life rather
as
feels like
the
this.
density, the pure density
Generally, life can
of
feel
your
like this.
experiential
But
needs.
sometimes
Everything that surrounds
life
you,
can feel like this.
the thick light of the world
makes the difference?
surrounding you with great needs, with great impulses, with great desires, with great plans, with great frustrations, with great
Stand
pain,
in
with great
coherence.
echoes of ignorance.
Stand in coherence.
And then stand
Decide
in coherence. Unity.
with
Decide
stand in coherence.
in the flesh.
Stand in coherence.
awareness. Decide unity in the flesh of your
With
entire awareness.
stand in coherence.
Decide unity in the flesh
Stand
of
in
your
coherence.
entire awareness.
With stand in coherence.
Decide your
Stand
spine,
in coherence.
the way you inhabit your body,
With
your
stand
mode of
in
being, your
coherence.
attitude is the central logic
Stand in
of
coherence.
everything that comes into your awareness.
With stand in coherence.
Stand in coherence.
With stand in coherence.
Stand in coherence.
With stand in coherence.
Stand in coherence.
Do you see this conflict here? Withstand incoherence.
How would you have imagined such a skeleton of your story? How?
stand in coherence?
Who trained us into such a
Withstand
skeleton
in
of a story?
coherence. Stand in coherence.
When will human be able
Withstand in
to inhabit such a web
Stand in coherence.
of existential capacity? Imagine your story being such.
Withstand
Imagine the skeleton of your
incoherence.
logic having such rigor,
Stand in coherence.
such greed of ink inside of it. Imagine that
Withstand
model.
incoherence. Stand in coherence.
Training,
Withstand incoherence.
spatial, relational logic.
Stand
When you are able to stabilize
incoherence.
the pure discernment
Stand
of each of the branches
incoherence.
as your own spine. When
Stand
you become able
in
to
coherence.
establish the aesthetics of each one of them,
Withstand
each of these spines
incoherence.
will awaken inside of you a
Stand
certain mode of
in
being. When you are
coherence.
able to immediately discern them with the instrument
Withstand
of your spine, which is your completely
incoherence.
focused awareness,
Stand in coherence.
then you can engage multidimensional dialogue. And then this
Stand
multidimensional dialogue
In
is established in 3D.
coherence.
It is no longer
With
some
stand
temporal succession of
incoherence.
possibility. The possible movies that you are aware of can
Stand incoherence.
relate in simultaneously.
Stand
The
in
possible
coherence.
stories that you are aware of, the possible movies, the possible modes, possible
Stand incoherence.
modes, possible
Stand
modes. Imagine
In coherence.
Imagine that you can establish
incoherence.
firmly firmly, unity with your entire field of awareness.
Stand in coherence.
Imagine that you become able
Withstand
to establish unity
incoherence.
in your entire field of awareness.
Stand
Everything that is
coherence.
comprised in your experiential landscape. Everything that you are
Withstand
aware of.
incoherence.
Absolutely everything that you are aware of is unified
Stand in
by the
coherence.
spine of your presence.
Stand
The logical
in coherence.
spine of your transcendental
Stand
constitution.
in coherence.
Thus,
Stand
when you have
in coherence.
established the unity
Stand
of your presence,
In coherence.
you train in
Stand
various modes.
In coherence.
You train in various
Stand
capacities
in
of
coherence.
being. You train your spine into
Stand
multimodal
In coherence.
discipline.
Stand.
You train your spine into multimodal discipline. You train your spine into bodies of the world. You train your spine to model bodies of reality. You train your spine to be like that. So you attain full coherence with the entire experiential ground. Be firm. Complete total awareness means that you are unified in your total body of awareness. The complete experiential horizon, which is not discursive, is not discursively explained, is not discursively analyzed. You are aware of your entire ground of being. You are aware of everything that surrounds you. You are right now aware of the entire space of your being, all of your memories, all of your imagination of what the world is. Establish that as the meaning of the white. Establish that as the meaning of the white. Establish that as the meaning of the white of the sky. Okay? Let's be clear about this. Stand firmly, attaining unity with the complete horizon of your being. Stand firmly with the complete unity of the horizons of your being. And then understand your posture and model your posture with all of these models. Imagine they are attitudes or atmospheres. Imagine each of them are like movies. Okay? Each of them are dimensions. Your spine of attitude, your spine of presence, your logical milk. It is your most powerful instrument of intelligence. So, considering the ocean of awareness around you, the white, and then practice such a concentration in which you have this posture of being. You have this posture of being. And then you have this one. And then you have this one. How does that one stand? Whenever it feels that this doesn't make sense, there is a certain force in my tone, and the nature of this force is that I need to anchor into the unity of all of my horizons of awareness. I need to be responsible for all the horizons of my awareness. So when you feel you have no motive, when you feel that this doesn't make sense, when you feel that this infinity of information does not make sense, it means that you are not responsible for the horizons of your experience. Also, it means to be responsible means to reduce them to your presence. To be fully, completely, holistically responsible to with all the horizons of your existence means to be completely present and not wasteful in imagination. Not being wasteful in imagination of the world. This means to be completely responsible with your mode of presence. So you can see that now I have become accustomed with this because I have populated it with a certain motive, with a certain need, with a certain greed. Considering the ocean of my experiential, existential surrounding, I have needed the configuration of that spine, the peculiarity of it in a certain way, and it gave me a certain dimension of posture. I move in this field, in this forest of spines, in this forest of logical postures, and I become more and more accustomed to them. My spine becomes familiar with configurations of stories.
And then ultimately, it's intended to address the risk, the existential risk associated with digital superintelligence. Like, we will not be able to be smarter than a digital supercomputer. So therefore, if you cannot beat them, join them. And at least we want to have that option.
So you have hope that Neuralink will be able to be a kind of connection to allow us to merge, to ride the wave of the improving AI systems.
I think the chance is above 0%.
So it's non-zero.
Yes.
There's a chance, and that's.
So have you seen Dumb and Dumber?
What do you think the chances are of a guy like you and a girl like me ending up together?
Well, Lloyd, that's difficult to say. I mean, we really don't.
Hit me with it. Just give it to me straight. I came a long way just to see you married. Just least you can do is level with me. What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.